Greg Hurst yet to score a goal here in the 2026 campaign. And look, Kenzie, if he's going to score a goal, it's likely to be here at the Lab.
Yeah, hopefully he finds the back of the net. I know he's been knocking at that door a lot the past couple of games, but hopefully tonight he finds it.
We're off and running here in New Mexico in their home all black. See the visitors from the Antelope Valley in their desert sand kits with the Joshua Green accents. This one goes back to Malik Howell getting the start there alongside Nico Hamalainen as the center back pairing this evening. There's been quite a bit of shuffling there along that back line for Dennis Sanchez this season as he navigates some injuries. Kip Keller still unavailable. This is the captain, Will Seymour. Noel looking to get on the end of this, and Osvaldo Ley able to beat him there. Osvaldo Ley from Panama. Second season with Avi Alta. Avi Alta just their second season as a club. Missed the postseason their first time out last year in League One. Finished the season 8 wins, 10 losses, 12 draws. Beautiful facility that they have out there. Spent a lot of money to upgrade a former baseball stadium. Pelivanov. That ball poked away by Usman Jabang. Christian Ortiz gets it back to Smith. That's a look at Dennis Sanchez. Second season with the club, and Dennis Sanchez has been knocking on the door of a USL Championship final the last 2 seasons, Kenzie.
Yeah, he's been also dealing with some injuries, so he's asking some players to play in some different positions than they're used to, asking them to do different roles. So it'll be interesting to see how those players do tonight.
And that foul called on Jerry Desdoon there in the midfield. Take a look on that TLC replay. Flicked on there by Greg Hurst, and that ball just behind Noel, the Frenchman. Here's Reed Stephen. Dynamic playmaker is Niall Reed Stephen, who's a former USL League One selection, all-league selection last season. 20 goal contributions. This is Jabang. And Usman Jabang sends this one just wide of the post, but going back to what we were saying about Niall Reed Stephen last year, 13 goals, 7 assists for South Georgia Tormenta. Ryan Klaben, first and only head coach in Avi Alta history. It's been tough sledding so far to start this season, Kelsey. Still looking to pick up their first win in league play.
Yeah, for Klaben, he's still trying to find that transition. And he's still trying to establish that clear identity that the club wants. So he's still figuring out what type of formations he's going to play. So you'll see them kind of shifting around and playing in different ways each game.
Zico Bailey, the Philippines international. And we're going to see a yellow card shown here just 4 minutes in. Jerry Desdoon goes in the book for that challenge.
He's going to have to be careful the rest of the game now, being on that yellow card so early in this match.
Yellow cards brought to you by Ferguson Law Firm. When you've been fouled, call Ferguson Law Firm, New Mexico's leading personal injury attorneys for over 40 years. While we've got a moment, let's take a look at our keys to the match here this evening for New Mexico. Finish chances, exploit the wide areas, utilize the home field advantage. And let's take a look at our injury report real quick here as well. Kip Keller, Marlon Vargas, both on the list for New Mexico here tonight. Going back to that second point, exploit the wide areas. New Mexico certainly have the players to do that. Zico Bailey plays this one short. Noel, this one's right off the training ground. Harris tried to thread it back, just ran out of real estate.
That was some great vision by Noel to play that ball in. And unfortunately it went out, but great ideas there from New Mexico.
And Dayon Harris, Niall Reed-Steven, they're going to be the two that are exploiting those wide areas. These outside backs for Antelope Valley will have their hands full here this evening.
Yeah, with that, they're going to want to make sure they isolate those 1v1 situations and beat them. Because if they can beat those outside backs, they're in behind.
Here's Seymour. Will Seymour has been with the club since 2022. There's Valentin Noel. Two former Las Vegas Lights players connecting there. And Noel and Jabang. The offside flag is up on Dayon Harris. That's got to be a little bit frustrating there if you're Dennis Sanchez. Harris able to see all the way down the line in that scenario. Sent long. This is Anderson chasing it down. Colin Anderson, the Jamaican, he's got one cap for the Reggae Boys. Ortiz can keep that ball in play. Few minutes in, Kenzie, what are you seeing so far here from both teams?
Both teams are still kind of figuring out how are they going to attack this game. They come in with their set plan, but sometimes plans just change. So these first 15 minutes, they're figuring out their opponents, they're figuring out their matchups, and figuring out what they can do to advance the ball.
Alisane went through the back there of Valentin Noel, and the official calls that foul back as well. He's got to be careful there. You've already got Desdune on a yellow. And we're only 8 minutes in.
If you're New Mexico, you just run at them. Try to see if they can get their second yellow card, and then you are at an advantage the rest of the game.
That ball just off the mark. Was looking for Greg Hurst, was Jake LaCava. There's Lay. Almeish. This is Adam Almeish. And he's run over by Jake LaCava, and free kick is given.
It's a little bit of a dangerous place there because it's about 25 yards outside the 18, and so this is a great spot for them to potentially get something going.
This is Jerry Desdune territory. He had a free kick opportunity very similar to this against Boise just a couple of weeks ago in league play and did not miss by much. He's got a dangerous right foot. Free kicks brought to you by TLC, Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. This is Jerry Desdune. The Haitian stands over it. Shakes. Oh, yeah. Made it interesting.
Yeah, Shakes read that all the way. He knew exactly where that ball was going and was ready for it.
Pressure being applied here by Avi Alta. Now, I know there's a lot of New Mexico United fans that are watching here this evening. Let's take one more look at this Jerry Desdune free kick, and brilliantly struck. That was about as clean as you can hit it if you're Jerry Desdune.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place free kick, but Shakes was right there. He knew it and read it the whole way in. No
problem for the keeper there, but back to Avi Alta. So for our New Mexico United fans who may not know about Avi Alta, well, let's give you the breakdown here. As we mentioned, out of Lancaster, California. They're named Avi Alta, short for Antelope Valley. It's the area where they're from, right? The Alta is meant to allude to the region's location in the high desert, but it also has its ties to the aerospace industry there. Now, what's funny about that, right, is alluding to the altitude that they play at. It's about 2,500 feet. We're here in Albuquerque at just under a mile high in elevation, which I'm sure there's also some Avi Alta fans out there that are learning this for the first time as well. Here's Noel. Great long ball, finds Will Seymour. Here's the captain. Still Seymour, plays it across. Niall Reed-Stephen couldn't hunt that ball down. There you go, 5,328 feet. And so what we see a lot of the times here, Kenzie, when teams come and visit Rio Grande Credit Union Field, is you start seeing the hands on the knees, around the 75th minute, 80th minute mark. That altitude really starts to play a factor. And for a fun fact, this was told to me by the New Mexico United communications manager, Carlos Tenorio, this is the highest altitude that Avi Alta have played a competitive match at.
This might actually change kind of how they play, and knowing that there's that elevation factor, it may change how they attack this game. Maybe they save a little bit of that energy for those last 15 minutes.
We'll see how that unfolds as New Mexico United just probing around here in the Avi Alta final third. Bailey pokes this forward. Couldn't connect there with Noel. You can see early here, at least, the plan is to hit these balls long and let Anderson get out and run for him. Beautiful night here in Albuquerque. A look at our current conditions. 69 degrees. It's a slight breeze out there. I don't think it's bad enough to be considered windy. What you say?
No, it's a bit windy earlier today, but it's kind of calmed down for a beautiful night for some football.
New Mexico could be on to something. Reed-Stephen pokes this forward. Here's Greg Hurst. He's got Dayon Harris on the opposite side. Harris. He was racing against the keeper, Denzel Smith. And Smith wins the race that time.
That was a quick transition there for New Mexico. It's good to see them get up the field fast. Unfortunate about that ball across the face of the goal, but they're starting to put things together. They're starting to find their groove.
14 minutes gone by here in Albuquerque. Tyler Ortega here alongside Kenzie Ballinger. This is the first round of group play in the Prinx Tires USL Cup. Again, looking for the through ball that time for Des Dune. Very young Antelope Valley squad this year. Average age of the squad under 23. A lot of youth, a lot of raw talent. Rellerford with the throw in. Seymour whistled for the foul that time.
There's another direct ball, like you were saying earlier. They're trying to just put Anderson in and just let him go.
So far, New Mexico looked to be up to the task with Malik Howell and Nico Hamalainen back there. Pelivanov fouled that time. Be a throw-in now for New Mexico. Dayon Harris. Looking to thread the needle there to Greg Hurst. I'd like to welcome you in wherever you're watching from. ESPN Plus tonight. If you're watching on New Mexico 50 around the state of New Mexico, or even if you're back in the Antelope Valley watching at the Mi Ranchito Mexican restaurant, that is Almeish with an absolute rocket past Shakes, and Avi Alta have opened up the scoring here 18 minutes in at the Lab.
That was a great strike. Across the goal, upper corner. It was a fantastic strike there.
Elias Almeish with the left-footed curler, and it goes past Chris Shakes, and it's a dream start for the USL League One side here tonight.
This is big for Avi Alta. They're winless in their last 8 games, so starting early is what they wanted, and this is exactly what they planned out.
You see, just beautifully struck. Shakes diving to his right, can't get a hand to it. And for New Mexico, the struggles seemingly continue here, Kenzie.
It'll be interesting to see how New Mexico responds in the next 5 minutes, because a lot of times you see the focus falls in the 5 minutes following something big. So New Mexico, they just need to keep their foot on the pedal and just keep going. The game is still a long way to go.
First goal of the season for Elias Almeish. Also his first goal for Antelope Valley as well, and it's a huge one.
Way to open up his scoring.
The 20-year-old Frenchman with what may be considered the biggest goal of his young career. Spent some time with the second team for POW FC. New Mexico could be onto something, and no interest in a penalty there from our official. To be fair, I didn't think so either.
No, I didn't think there was anything there.
New Mexico suddenly find themselves behind here as they'll look to use the energy of the crowd to pull one back.
Yeah, they tend to concede really early in the game, so for them to be out of the first 15 minutes
So for everybody that's wondering what's going on, why is the crowd cheering right now? I'll tell you in just a second. That foul is whistled against Alessani, and he's now gone in the book, and now that's a second yellow card for the Avi Alta midfield in just the first 21 minutes. And so what that was called the Magic Minute. It's a tradition that happens every New Mexico United match, and it starts at 19:12, the 19-minute, 12-second mark. That's to signify when New Mexico is officially recognized as a state, and they'll go until the 20-minute, 18-second mark. That's to signify when New Mexico United were founded as a club.
Yeah, these fans just love their team, so any chance they can do to celebrate this, they're going to.
And a fun fact, that tradition started way back in 2019, the first year of New Mexico United, by first ever head coach in club history, Troy Lesane. Lesane went on to coach in the MLS following his departure here from New Mexico. "22 minutes in, it's Avi Alta FC on top of the USL Championship side, New Mexico United. Desdoon was looking to work his way out of that tight space. Bailey will go all the way back to square one. Play continued for just a moment. There's the whistle from our center official, Benjamin Meyer. Assistant referees tonight, William Ayton and Ryan Linskog. And our fourth official tonight is Charlie Delgadillo. There's an update of some scores, some final scores from around the country. Mentioned this is the first round of group play in the USL Cup presented by Prinx Tires. We'll have a video at halftime that explains everything you need to know about the Prinx Tires USL Cup. As Avi Alta on the hunt for a second. That ball just wound up behind Anderson, allowed Hamalainen to clear it away.
Yeah, a little bit of a miscue there from the forwards. I think Anderson had a different idea of what was going on, and so it just didn't quite work out what they wanted.
Hamalainen slips. This could be trouble. Here's Anderson. Lays it off. Desdoon now. Almeish. Zico Bailey in to save the day. Dennis Sanchez on the touchline, looking for his side to respond here. It's been 6 minutes since the Avi Alta opener. Bailey finds the feet of Greg Hurst. Hurst was looking for the foul. Pajaro really the defensive leader for this Avi Alta squad. One of the more vocal players on the squad. Oh, and that's not good. It almost looked like Almeish was almost grabbing at his leg. And he still is. And that's big. And he's now motioning towards the bench. And I think that's going to be it for the goal scorer, Elias Almeish. He's gone down now. You could see it when he was making that run there, Kenzie. He pulled up and started grabbing sort of around that quad area.
Yeah,
and now he's he's reacting, kind of punching the field.
Yeah, he's not happy about that. I mean, he's disappointed that it's so early in the game and now he's down with an injury. So Avi Alta is going to have to find something because that's their goal scorer.
And this is tough because, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, he's coming back from an injury.
Yeah, that's got to be tough. You just come back from an injury and now you're down with another one. It's unfortunate to see, though.
So this could very well force an early substitution here for Brian Klaben. As we see some movement there at the Avi Alta technical area. Subs getting going. Trainer out. So Almesh will receive some attention. So while we've got a moment, let's take a look here real quick at this TLC replay. You see him, there it is. He starts to grab at the muscle. Fans, the USL on CBS Sports Network kicks off the month of May with a championship clash of Eastern Conference powerhouses. Detroit City FC take on Louisville City FC, 6 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Mountain Time on May 2nd. Catch all the action on the CBS Sports Network. We'd also like to let you know that you can watch the USL Championship in Spanish on TUDN. That is the nation's leading Spanish-language sports network. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. So indeed, that is it for Elias Almesh. On to replace him is Godwin Antwi. Antwi actually started last time out. So that is a like-for-like change there on that right side for Avi Alta. Well, it's a corner here for New Mexico. Deion Harris stands over it. Harris now sends this in, and Malik Howell came through and could not redirect that ball on frame. That was a great opportunity.
That was a fantastic opportunity for New Mexico United to be able to hit that ball with precision. Just unfortunate with how didn't quite get the connection that he wanted.
Malik Howell played for Dennis Sanchez at Las Vegas Lights. Also spent some time at Birmingham Legion last season. Malik Howell also spent some time playing right across the street from us here at the lab. Spent 1 year in college at the University of New Mexico. Shakes, he's closed down by Anderson. Lacava.
So far, New Mexico has done a good job at trying to possess the ball, and it doesn't look like they're letting that one goal affect them right now in their play.
There's Jabang. Great ball there. Zico Bailey able to press forward. There's Bailey. Bailey maybe took one too many touches before trying to get that ball to Reed Stephen.
Yeah, he also had Greg Hurst right there in the middle of the field ready to run, so he had a couple options he could have played.
Zico Bailey, you know, New Mexico United excited that he's back. Missed one match earlier this season with the Philippines national team. So for Zico Bailey, this is actually his first match at the lab this season.
Zico's the type of player you just want on the field. He's going to be your workhorse. He's going to do all the dirty work. and you may not see his flashy absence.
Here's LaCava. And has that ball poked away at the last moment by Rellerford. Corner coming up here for New Mexico. Corner kicks brought to you by Topo Chico Hard Seltzer. Hello crisp, refreshing taste. Hello Topo Chico Hard Seltzer. What a tremendous sunset we're getting here in Albuquerque. There's a great shot of it. Well done by our crew. Niall Reed-Stevens stands over this ball. 30 minutes gone by. Looks like our center official, Benjamin Meyer, just having some words with a couple of guys in the box. Reed-Steven sends this ball in, going back post. Valentin Noel looked to be the intended target, but a couple of Antelope Valley players in the vicinity.
Yeah, a lot of times on those corner kicks, you see them play that deep ball into the backside, and it's Valentin Noel's job to head it back across goal for a potential, follow-up.
Dayon Harris will stand over this one on the opposite side. Another Topo Chico Hard Seltzer corner kick. Harris sends this ball in, and it's dealt with immediately. Shakes. Looking to play this forward for Harris. Instead, it's headed away by Ortiz. Here's Lay. Antwi. His first action here this evening. Just a miscommunication there between Hamalainen and the captain, Will Seymour. Harris finally able to poke it away, and now New Mexico looking to turn the tables. Hurst, Reed-Steven just sandwiched by two defenders, and he is irate that he didn't get a call there.
Yeah, that was a fast transition by Greg Hurst. If you saw him, he was waving his players to get forward as fast as they could, and that was a beautiful ball into Reed-Steven, and unfortunately he got sandwiched, but it's a good start for New Mexico. They're starting to find their momentum back.
There's another look on this TLC replay, and now Reed-Steven there goes down. It wouldn't have been a penalty.
No, the ball's too far away. There wasn't going to be any opportunity for him to actually get a shot off on that goal.
Treated to a beautiful evening here in the high desert. And it is Pups on the Pitch night as well, Kenzie. One of my favorite nights of the year. There's about 250 of our favorite four-legged friends in attendance here this evening. They're all on the berm. I'm sure we'll get a look at them a little bit later, probably during halftime. But for the time being, New Mexico find themselves trailing League One side Avi Alta here at home in front of over 9,000 fans. Bailey went down, no call. Just looking inside. It's Greg Hurst who drifted outside that time. Here's a look at some of the dogs in attendance. Incredible.
The dogs are here to have some fun. They're here to watch some soccer and have a good night.
This ball not really dealt with. I don't think the way that Pelivanov wanted it to be. New Mexico could be on to something. Deon Harris sends it past Smith. New Mexico break through and equalize.
That was huge for New Mexico. I mean, they're getting close to halftime. They want to level the playing field, and that's just what they did.
Deon Harris with shades of his rocket past Colin Shuttler in last year's Western Conference semifinal. Same exact goal, same exact corner. Deon Harris getting it done for the black and yellow.
Yeah, that was a beautiful ball in. Great touch there, and even better finish for Deon Harris. And to put New Mexico back on level field is huge, and now it'll be interesting to see how they finish out this first half.
Well, that's certainly going to change the complexion of these final 10 minutes plus stoppage time. As that goal was brought to you by Vara Winery and Distillery. And we're going to see another yellow card. And this time it's shown to Osvaldo Ley and Kenzie. That now makes all three midfielders for Avi Alta. They're now all in the book.
Yeah, if you're Claiborne, you're going to have to think about that at halftime because, yeah, if all your midfielders are on yellow cards, they're going to have to be careful. But on the flip side, if you're New Mexico United, you're running at them. You're trying to see if you can get another yellow card on one of these guys because then that puts you a number up the rest of the game.
New Mexico feeling an extra boost in their step now following that goal. Here's Anderson. Anderson, his cross goes in, but it finds Malik Howell. There's two Jamaicans on the pitch, and Malik Howell, Colin Anderson, both involved on that play. Ortiz goes all the way back to Pajaro. What an incredible night here in Albuquerque. The backdrop that we're looking at, Kenzie, it looks like it's straight out of a painting.
It's gorgeous. I mean, the sun's reflecting right off the mountains here.
This ball poked forward for Greg Hurst. Could be onto something, but the offside flag is up on the far side.
It's looking great for New Mexico, though. They're getting their groove going. They're getting chances. It's unfortunate that was offside, but they're starting to piece those puzzle pieces together, and they're getting those shots off.
Things finally starting to click for Dennis Sanchez's men here this evening. So you're taking another look here on this TLC replay. It was Jabang that time, and yeah, there was a great call there by the assistant referee. Here's Antwi. Godwin Antwi, the 20-year-old out of Ghana. His first year as a professional. Desdoon turns with it. That foul called on Ousmane Jabang. Ousmane Jabang came over in a transfer from Montreal of MLS at the start of last season. Did spend 2024 under Dennis Sanchez at Las Vegas Lights alongside Val Noel, Raiko Arozarena, Malik Howell, all of his current teammates. That is Dennis Sanchez. Going back to that 2024 season with Las Vegas Lights, he came into the lab twice that season, walked away victorious both times. He's now looking to guide New Mexico to the promised land. Dennis Sanchez, one thing about him, he is a competitor. And so, you know, he's excited about this USL Cup, another opportunity to compete for silverware.
Yeah, that's the unique part of this USL Cup is everyone's on an even playing field right now. It can be anyone's game. So that's kind of the fun thing to see and develop as these games go along is who's going to want to fight for those 3 points, who's going to fight, and who's going to be lifting that trophy at the end of the tournament.
Here's Des Dune. Corner goes in, back post. Well over the head of Alisane. Well, New Mexico, they're going to look to improve on their USL Cup showing from last season, Kenzie, where they failed to get out of the group stage.
Yeah, they actually went to PKs 3 times, and they won 2 of those. So for them, they don't want to go to PKs again. That's a lot of stress. They just want to win it in the first 90 minutes.
And one of those times was right here at the Lab last season against Switchbacks. And that was actually the first ever PK shootout here at the Lab, in which New Mexico walked out with the win.
That's kind of the unique thing of the USL Cup. There's no ties. You have to have a winner. So either you win it with a 3 points in the first 90 minutes, or do you go to PKs and get an extra point there?
Yeah, and that's a very important note is there is no extra time. If you're tied at the end of 90, you go straight to penalties. Just as a refresher for you. And so that is that does remain a possibility here this evening. Although you got to feel like the way that New Mexico have been firing offensively here over the last 10 minutes or so, they'd like to fancy themselves ahead at the end of 90.
And last season, both these teams were playing in 2 different groups. So this is the first time that they're in the same group and playing against each other.
Other teams in this group, Orange County, Phoenix, El Paso, and Colorado Springs. Avi Alta could be onto something. Lay has it poked away. Didn't go very far. Pelivanov. Here's Almesh. Cross goes in, back post. Antwi is there! And what a save by Chris Shakes.
It's a little bit of an unconventional save there. I mean, as a goalkeeper, you want to go with your hands. But, I mean, whatever it takes to save a ball is what he's going to do.
Almost looked like he might have gotten his bicep on that ball. Either way, incredible reaction save there from Shakes to keep things level. One more look on this TLC replay as Antwi found himself wide open at that back post. Reed Stephen sends that ball away. And clearance might have looked to maybe get a piece of Anderson. He went down, but he's right back up. Hearing there's going to be 3 minutes of stoppage time here at the end of this first half. Here's Antwi. Seymour defending. Lovely flick from Antwi, but the delivery escapes everyone.
New Mexico's got to be careful here. I mean, they're getting close to halftime, and you don't want Avi Alta to find one right at half. You want to go into the half either up or one-on-one.
Shakes directing traffic here as time winds down. "45 minutes in the books. Into New Mexico Pinon Coffee stoppage time we go. 3 minutes added on here. New Mexico Pinon Coffee, the taste of enchantment. New Mexico looking to add one more here before the break. Here's Bailey. LaCava. Here's Reed Stephen. Finds Noel in the box. Noel! And it's saved by Smith.
That was a great little quick shot there from Noel. I mean, you never know. Those types of things can happen, and that's how you get goals, is the unexpected shots.
This is the 26-year-old Denzel Smith, the Trinidad and Tobago international. He's got 9 clean sheets in 25 appearances for his national team. Before playing with Antelope Valley, spent some time with W Connection FC in the Trinidad and Tobago Premier League. LaCava goes all the way back to Shakes, but the pressure arrives quickly. Shakes really with no choice but to get that ball out from under his feet. Foul called there against Jake LaCava, and the foul's now starting to add up against the New Mexico United right back. So he's been shown a yellow card. That is the first yellow for New Mexico here this evening. Yellow cards brought to you by Ferguson Law Firm. This is also going to set up a dangerous free kick here for the visitors. This ball goes into the box, and it's dealt with by New Mexico. It looked like it might have been Usman Jabang that got the initial head to it. The return ball goes out. This will be a goal kick for the hosts. That is the end of the first half here in Albuquerque, and it's been an action-packed first 45 here, Kenzie, as New Mexico and Avi Alta FC tied here at 1 goal apiece here in the first round of the group play of the Prinx Tires USL Cup. Dayon Harris with his 3rd goal in as many matches here at the Lab over his last 3 finds the equalizer for New Mexico. We'll go ahead and step aside. When we return, we'll have some halftime for you.
Game on at New Mexico's ultimate game day destination, Sandia Sportsbook. With live wagering 7 days a week, Albuquerque's best sportsbook is ready for action. Bet at Sandia Sportsbook or at kiosk locations on the casino floor. Sandia Sportsbook offers amazing food and drink specials with spectacular views. Sports betting has come to Sandia. Sandia Sportsbook. Game on.
Welcome back here to the lab in Albuquerque. It is New Mexico United tied with Avi Alta FC here at the break. 1 goal apiece. It was Elias Almeish opening up the scoring 18 minutes in, followed by a Deon Harris equalizer 18 minutes later at the 36-minute mark. And that leads us to where we currently are. So we mentioned it is round 1 of the Prinx Tires USL Cup group stage. These are some of your scores from around the country. Now, just as a reminder, this does feature clubs from the USL Championship and USL League One, so you're going to see a lot of perhaps unfamiliar crests here on your screen. But, you know, an interesting one here, Kenzie. We're going to start off with the New York Cosmos and Brooklyn FC. You see Brooklyn, the championship team, taking down the League One team. We're hearing that the New York Cosmos goalkeeping coach actually had to suit up today. We'll try to figure out what that was all about. There you see a championship clash between Loudoun and Charleston, with the Battery prevailing there. The Kickers able to pull one back late, but it wasn't enough as they fall to Charlotte Independence. Chattanooga Red Wolves fall to Corpus Christi FC, and former New Mexico United man Thomas Pondeca, who's currently there. El Clamico goes to penalties, and it's Rhode Island pulling out the victory over defending USL Cup champions Hartford Athletic in this first one. And there you see the first cup set that we've got here today with Union Omaha, the Brujas taking down, that was Indy 11. We've also got some more scores to get to. Lexington able to add one on late for an insurance goal, as former New Mexico United assistant coach, now the Lexington head coach, Mac Hemme, and his guys pull off the victory over Forward Madison. And we see more penalties as Westchester beats Portland Hearts of Pine. They go 5-4 in that one. A look at what's ahead for the Black and Yellow. 4 of the next 5 will be at home here, Kenzie. Huge opportunity for New Mexico to make up some ground in the league.
And I know the fans are excited. I mean, they've only had 1 home game prior to tonight, so they're hungry for more games here. So having that home field advantage is going to be key for them.
You're going to see El Paso, Las Vegas Lights coming to the lab as Star Wars Night and Country Night taking place on May 6th and May 9th. And then a pair of Eastern Conference opponents making their way out to Albuquerque, Tampa Bay Rowdies and former USL League One champion head coach Dom Casciato. They'll be coming out here again, and then it's going to be a Black and Yellow showdown as New Mexico will host the Charleston Battery on Schools Out Night, May 23rd. We'll go ahead and take another break. We'll be back here on the other side of this.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Prinx tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines, from early mornings to late nights, from fun with friends to winner takes all, from the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinx tires will be there for the long haul.
This week on USL All Access, it's the convergence of cups. We walk through the round of 32 in US Open Cup, getting ready for the first round of group stage games in the Prinx Cup.
Off-season roster building comparisons between the Tampa Bay Rowdies and Sporting Jacksonville. What's the biggest difference between the two that has caused the early year success for the Tampa Bay Rowdies?
You'll see it SiriusXM FC or the USL YouTube page every Tuesday night.
Minutes. So how did we get here? Well, after 4 group stage matches, Hartford Athletic and Louisville City were tied with 9 points. The first tiebreaker, total goals. Hartford scored 9, Louisville had 8. And that wild card spot launched Hartford's run to the USL Cup title. This year's Cup promises even more drama. 42 clubs in the USL Championship and League One will form 7 groups filled out by region. Each club will play 4 group matches, and when the dust settles, the 7 group winners will advance along with 1 wild card team, not 2 wild cards like last year. The remaining 8 clubs will be drawn into 4 quarterfinal matches with 1 stipulation. The wild card cannot be drawn against its group winner. The 4 quarterfinal winners will then be drawn for the semifinal round, with the 2 finalists drawn to determine the host for the Prinx Tires USL Cup final.
Welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen. It is halftime here in the Prinx Tires USL Cup between USL Championship side New Mexico United and USL League One side Avi Alta FC. Let's take a look at how we got to this point with our first half highlights, brought to you by the guys at Ferguson and Associates. We're here for you, and we're here to win. And we're going to start things off with a Jerry Desdoon free kick. Had Shakes on his toes that time, Kenzie.
Yeah, Shakes was, he was prepared for it, though. He was reading that the whole way through. He was ready for that upper 90 ball and was able to collect it nicely.
But this, just a few moments later, it was Elias Almeish, 18 minutes in, with the left-footed strike past Chris Shakes.
Yeah, that was a beautiful strike. I mean, well taken with his left foot to place it in that far side of the net to put Avi Alta up 1-0.
And for Elias Almeish, that opens his Avi Alta account. And for New Mexico, 18 minutes later, that man again, Dayon Harris, with the equalizer. Dayon Harris has now scored in New Mexico United's last 3 matches here at Rio Grande Credit Union Field at Isotopes Park.
Yeah, that first touch wasn't the best for Dayon Harris, but he was able to follow it up with a beautiful, well-taken strike to put them level again.
And then here, Chris Shakes called upon once more with the bicep save that time.
Yeah, as a goalkeeper, it's whatever it takes to save that ball.
Halftime stats here as well. Kenzie, what do these numbers tell you?
It's kind of interesting that the possession's almost split even. I mean, the scoreline shows that and matches that, but the yellow card part is what stands out to me, with Avi Alta's entire midfield basically being on a yellow. It's going to be difficult for the second half for them.
We'll see if there's any changes to be made from head coach Brian Claben, as we'll step aside. We'll return here with the second half.
In the land of enchantment, every move counts. That's why you need New Mexico Orthopedics to get you back doing the things you love. The official orthopedic surgeons of New Mexico United. Somos Unidos.
When you join the New Mexico State Police, you're stepping into more than a patrol car. You're stepping into possibility. From tactical missions to underwater recoveries, from negotiating under pressure and mastering the skies with cutting-edge drone technology, our specialized teams go beyond the ordinary. If you're looking for a challenge, teamwork, and the chance to be part of something bigger, your path starts here. Join the legacy. Join New Mexico State Police.
Game on at New Mexico's ultimate game day destination, Sandia Sportsbook. With live wagering 7 days a week, Albuquerque's best sportsbook is ready for action. Bet at Sandia Sportsbook or at kiosk locations on the casino floor. Sandia Sportsbook offers amazing food and drink specials with spectacular views. Sports betting has come to Sandia. Sandia Sportsbook. Game on.
In the land of enchantment, every move counts. That's why you need New Mexico Orthopedics to get you back doing the things you love. The official orthopedic surgeons of New Mexico United. Somos Unidos.
Back here at the lab with the second half just moments away. It's Pups on the Pitch night here in Albuquerque as plenty of our favorite four-legged friends in attendance here this evening. We're being told that there's close to 250 dogs in attendance here this evening. And honestly, I think this is the one time that I'm actually kind of jealous that I'm up here in the press box and not down there. But Kenzie, we've got a game to get to here. Second 45 coming up in just a moment. We're deadlocked here 45 minutes in. And so I'm going to ask you, put your coaching hat on. I know you're a coach here with a local soccer club. What do Avi Alta need to do to walk out of here with a result tonight?
I think Avi Alta needs to not necessarily play direct anymore, but rather build through the midfield, because clearly the direct balls over the top haven't been working for them. But as soon as they start combining and they find the feet, they're able to get something going. But I think for them, it's the big factor of the yellow cards on the midfield. They got to be able to manage that and be able to find different outlets, because their midfield, one more foul, they can be sent off the field.
And I'm going to ask you the same question here for New Mexico. Imperative that they get off to a good start here in group play, having missed the knockout stages last season. What does Dennis Sanchez and his guys have to do to walk out of here with a victory tonight?
I think it's using those wide areas. I mean, isolate the 1v1s. It's easier to beat a player when you just got one of them to beat and you can beat him behind. So for New Mexico, it's trying to find those opportunities to, be isolated, get those 1v1s, beat their players, and then find some service. I mean, the service has been decent, but I think they could do better at where they place things.
We've got the second half coming up here in just a moment. If you're just joining us, Tyler Ortega here alongside Kenzie Ballinger, Avi Alta in their desert sand kits with the Joshua Green accents, New Mexico in their mural kit, adorned with Meow Wolf across the chest. As Avi Alta will go tactical right off the restart.
It's kind of an interesting option there, just to basically kick it out.
Looking to just pin New Mexico back to start. Hope to maybe force a turnover, create an opportunity here. Yeah, it's fascinating. You see more and more teams start to do that here over the past, maybe not even 12 months, maybe. It's a very recent trend that we've seen around football.
That and the long throw-ins. You see that kind of happening all over the place, of those 20-yard throw-ins that they're doing.
Noel showing off the sweet feet there. Alasane. An interesting no changes in the midfield for Brian Claben. Greg Hurst looking to play this forward. Reed Steven tracks it down. Reed Steven goes down, and the foul is called, and that one very correctly called. Took place right here in front of us, and now the yellow cards starting to add up for Antelope Valley. Pelivanov goes in the book. That is the fourth player on a card now.
That was a very smart touch there by Reed Steven. He knew he was running out of space to do anything with the ball, so he pushed it away and allowed that foul to come in, and now they're set up with a free kick.
Yellow cards brought to you by Ferguson Law Firm. When you've been fouled, call Ferguson Law Firm, New Mexico's leading personal injury attorneys for over 40 years. Well, this sets up a great opportunity here for the black and yellow. It's essentially a corner kick, just maybe a little bit shorter. You can see they're right about at that 10-yard mark. There's Reed Steven. Reed Steven cheekily goes for the near post, and it's punched out by Smith.
That was actually kind of a smart play because Smith started on his near post there and then backed up as soon as that shot was coming, and Reed Stevens saw it and was able to try to sneak one in there.
Get another look on this TLC replay, and that's also why Smith was upset. His wall just split wide open for that ball from Reed Steven. Corner kick goes in from Reed Steven, takes a deflection. Greg Hurst has a pop, and it's blocked. Ezekiel Bailey. He sends it into the crowd.
Looked like that volley came off his own teammate there.
You might be correct there, Greg Hurst. You just got to let it fly sometimes when it's in the box. Anything from that distance is going to be troublesome for the keeper if it's on frame.
Yeah, the biggest thing is there's also a lot of traffic in there. There's a lot of bodies, so some things can sneak on in there.
And Jake LaCava making his first start at the lab for New Mexico. Started for the club in Open Cup play. However, that was across the street from us here at the University of New Mexico Soccer Complex. It's an alternative venue that New Mexico United will use for Open Cup games. And the offside flag is up on Dayon Harrison. Uncharacteristically, that's the second time tonight that the Canadian has been flagged for offside.
That one looked a little bit close and it was a little tight there. I was wondering how much was he actually offside there.
Dayon Harris with a goal tonight. And that is his first goal outside of league play for New Mexico. Or excuse me, it's his second goal outside of league play. He did score in the Jägermeister Cup last season, and that was actually upon his debut, his season debut, coming back from that torn ACL. It was at San Antonio. He shakes. So for Dayon Harris, that is his 6th goal in all competitions for New Mexico since joining the club in 2024. Noel lays it over to Jabang. New Mexico could be on to something. Reed Stevens got space, and his shot is blocked. It was Rellerford getting in the way.
New Mexico is starting to build some momentum here. They've had the last couple of minutes, they've had some corners and some decent shots.
The opportunity is starting to add up now for the black and yellow. Niall Reed Stevens sets up for another corner kick down here in front of us. Dayon Harris joins him. Steven delivers. Comes back out to Bailey. Bailey takes a touch. Bailey! And a sliding Usman Jabang, unable to redirect that ball.
That's some great instincts by Bailey. His first touch wasn't the best, but he was still able to get something out of it and get a great volley. Unfortunately, it was just off frame.
Here comes Anderson chasing it down. Anderson with a cross and unable to connect. There's Almeish making the run. So the Prinx Tires USL Cup, you've got 7 regional groups, Kenzie, and you know what makes it interesting in some of these groups that not all the teams play each other.
Yeah, because you play 4 matches, so you have 2 home, 2 away, but you have groups of 6. So there's somebody you're not playing, which makes it kind of interesting because, I mean, points can be anything. I mean, we saw it last year. It came down to literally goals scored to figure out the wild card spots for us.
And so to make the knockout rounds, you've got to be one of 7 group winners. So each group winner will advance, and then there's 1 wild card team that's taken outside of those 7 group winners.
Which is a little bit different than last year, because last year had 6 groups and 2 wild cards. Now we have a 7th group with 1 wild card spot.
And for New Mexico, we mentioned who's in their group. Obviously, Avi Alta that we're seeing here tonight. But then you've got a bunch of the usual suspects in the Western Conference, the USL Championship. Orange County, Phoenix, El Paso, Colorado Springs, New Mexico. They've already played every single one of those clubs this season. Here's Reed Steven. Cuts it back. Reed Steven. And his shot is blocked. Alasane making the defensive play.
That was a fantastic defensive play by Alsane. I mean, you got as a defender, you just throw your body there. You hope you can get something on it, and that's exactly what he did. He risked his body to save that goal.
And Niall Reed Steven, he has put in a shift here tonight, and you could just see that expression after that shot was blocked. Just maybe a little bit of frustration, and it kind of, you know, read like, what else do I gotta do?
Yeah, he's been knocking at that door. Just give it time, though. He might find one in the back of the net.
Approaching the 55th minute, Reed Stevens stands over his 3rd corner kick in the last 8 minutes. Sends it in. Jabang able to keep it in play. Well done by Usman Jabang. Here's Reed Steven. Reed Steven gets it back. Flag stays down. Jabang. And the shot from LaCava is saved.
He was wide open in that 18. It was Avi Alta had a little bit of a lapse of their defending there, and it was unfortunate that that did not end up in the back of the net there.
Jake LaCava could have opened his New Mexico United account with that one. Instead, New Mexico will get another corner kick. Their 4th corner kick of this half. Just based on the law of averages, Kenzie, one of these bound to go in if you're New Mexico. That ball deflected just ahead of a waiting Jake LaCava. Captain Will Seymour. Still Seymour. And that's great defending. Will Seymour just ran out of real estate that time.
Kind of allows Avi Alta to take a breather there. They were having a lot of corner kicks, a lot of shots, and now they're able to potentially get a little bit forward and take a breather.
Rutherford gets it back from Desdune. The challenge from Zico Bailey will earn him a yellow card. Second yellow card for New Mexico here this evening. Zico Bailey joins Jake LaCava in Benjamin Meyer's book. Got a couple of subs here for New Mexico. We're going to see forward Justin Renix coming on, joined by midfielder Cam Wilkerson. They're on to replace Dayon Harris and Valentin Noel.
So both sides have taken off their goal scorers now.
Interesting changes here. We're also hearing word of a couple of changes coming up for Avi Alta. We'll get to that in just a second. But yeah, Kenzie, it looks like both teams just looking to bring in some fresh legs up top.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, though, that both teams have taken off their goal scorers. So now, be curious of who's going to come up as the big hero now.
Jabang plays it forward. This is the substitute, Justin Renix. Renix plays it back. Jabang. Bailey. Well done there by Avi Alta. Wilkerson could not hang on to it that time. Bailey finds Renix. Hurst. Greg Hurst has now moved out left where Dayon Harris was playing, and we see Justin Renix up top for New Mexico. Here's Renix. Flag stays down. Avi Alta player down on the far side, but play continued.
Renix is making a big statement already. He just came on as a sub, and he's already getting involved in that attack.
Justin Renix out of Hamilton, Massachusetts, the 27-year-old. Spent the last 2 seasons in the top flight in Finland, playing for AC Oulu. Scored 10 goals, 4 assists in 45 appearances. That was Antwi that went down. It looks like those 2 Avi Alta subs that we heard about will be coming on after this corner kick. They're standing there behind the 4th official currently. It looked like our official was maybe having some words perhaps with Brian Claben, and now we've been informed that there was a yellow card shown to the Antelope Valley bench. So a Topo Chico hard seltzer corner kick coming up here for New Mexico. This is their 5th corner kick of the second half. Zico Bailey delivers. Headed back into the mix, and Smith climbs the ladder.
There's a good opportunity there for New Mexico. I mean, yeah, it's a 5th corner, so at some point you're hoping one of those are going in.
Renix unable to keep that ball in play. And we're going to see the double change coming up here for Avi Alta. So we're going to see midfielder Cesar Behana. And also the legendary former U.S. men's national player, Miguel Ibarra.
He's also an Antelope Valley native player coming on.
A local legend in the AV community. He was the first signing in club history. Love to see that. An absolute legend. And, you know, for what it's worth, Kenzie, he is no stranger to playing against New Mexico. He spent a season with San Diego Loyal a few years ago, but prior to that, spent some time in the MLS with Minnesota United. He was in the matchday squad when New Mexico United played against Minnesota in the U.S. Open Cup quarterfinals. Miguel Ibarra actually scored the final goal that day to make the final score Minnesota 6, New Mexico 1.
He brings a lot of veteran experience. I mean, that whole, what you just said is crazy to have on your resume.
Here's Jabang, able to corral it. Usman Jabang. And that goes over the head of everybody.
Yeah, so for Ibarra, I mean, like I said, he brings that veteran experience to this League One team that right now they're needing that. I mean, they're struggling right now in League One. So to have him come in and have that veteran experience to help uplift this team is just what they need.
Spent a number of years with Minnesota United, even going back to their NASL days. He spent some time in Liga MX with Lyon. We mentioned his stint at San Diego Loyal in 2021. On the line in. Chips this ball forward right on the dot to Reed Steven. Overlapping run comes from LaCava, but instead went for Renix, and it's cleared away. Jabang turns in the midfield. Here's Will Seymour. Bailey making the run ahead of him. Opts outside for Hurst, and Greg Hurst sends this ball over. And fans, we'd like to let you know that Prinx Tires is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Prinx Tires USL Cup. Built for practical performance and the long haul, Prinx delivers reliability for everyday drivers like you. Visit PrinxTiresUSA.com to learn more. On Tweed. Makes his way downfield and eventually just loses possession. Wilkerson now turns. Greg Hurst, he's dropped more into a supportive role since Justin Renix came on, letting the fresh legs of the former New England Revolution man do the running. Zico Bailey receives an elbow to the face, and now that's going to be a second yellow card shown to Jerry Desdoon. And Avi Alta have been reduced down to 10 men.
This is a huge moment for both teams. I mean, we're tied at 1-1. You're now dropping down to 10 players.
Another look here, and it was the shoulder of Desdoon. You can see very clearly catches Zico Bailey in the chin. It knocked his headband off. And so a 65th minute, second yellow for Jerry Desdoon. And now Avi Alta, well, they've got their work cut out ahead of them over the next 35 minutes, Kenzie.
It's going to be tough for Avi Alta. I mean, you're already having a tough match with the 11 men on the field. Now you're going down to 10, and you're going to have to change tactically of what you decide to do.
25 minutes. Apologies. Either way, that's a long time for this Avi Alta side to bend but not break.
And then if you're New Mexico United, you're running at them. You know you're a man up now. So you push a little bit number forward, and you be a little bit riskier.
Yeah, look, this is something that you brought up coming out of halftime, that no subs that were made there for Avi Alta, and so it just left them vulnerable. So that is tough as Desdoon makes the long walk across the pitch after being shown red. So New Mexico should feel a revitalized sense of energy now, looking to finish this one out. Yellow cards, red cards as well, brought to you by the guys at Ferguson Law Firm. New Mexico's leading personal injury attorneys for over 40 years. Zico Bailey might have a case with that one. Here's Greg Hurst. Bailey couldn't connect that time. Well, Fan Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the grassroots to the pros, Select is there every step of the way. You can visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice.
You can already see New Mexico pushing higher up that field after that red card. They're playing a little bit more dangerous, but they can because they have that extra man on the field.
Antelope Valley at one point had 10 men behind the ball. I have a feeling that's what we're going to see here over the final 23 minutes plus stoppage from the League One side, just packing it in ahead of Smith. I mentioned the motto for Antelope Valley now has to be bend but not break. As you know, New Mexico, they're going to throw everything forward that they can. And when you look at this bench here for Dennis Sanchez, he's still got a couple of options that he could look to. You talk about the former Sacramento man, Luther Archimed, and also the hometown hero, Christian Nava. This ball goes in, punched away by Smith.
Yeah, Luther Archimed, he's a tall target up top, so if you're looking to get someone who can use their head, he might be an option for New Mexico.
Archimed, 6'3". He's a great target, especially when it comes to set pieces, which New Mexico, they've had a lot of here tonight. New Mexico just looking for something to open up. Here's Hurst. Hurst! Right into the diving arms there of Smith. Lennox making sure that Smith doesn't waste any more time. Somehow that ball stays in there for Bahena. Cesar Bahena, just 21 years old. Very creative from the midfield for Antelope Valley. He's got 6 appearances in his first season as a professional. TLC free kick, and so it looks like we've got a couple of subs waiting to come on here for New Mexico. We sure do, and it's going to be the former Arsenal man, Gideon Zalalem, onto the pitch, making his way back from injury. As Gideon Zalalem, he played the first half of the season opener at Oakland. Kenzie went off with injury, and we haven't seen him since, so it's a great sign for the black and yellow faithful to see Gideon Zalalem onto the pitch. And also of note, it is a club debut here for the new signee, Tyler Blackett, the 32-year-old center back, a native of Manchester, England. That is your debutante here this evening. Tyler Blackett, he has spent a lot of time as a professional football player. We'll get to that in just a second, as we've got our official attendance here this evening. 9,605 in attendance, and that includes 237 of the best boys and girls in Albuquerque.
That's fantastic to see that many, furry friends that came out tonight to enjoy a fun football match.
Going back to the New Mexico debutante, Tyler Blackett in the back line. Most recently spent time with Rotherham. Before that, he was teammates with Zico Bailey at FC Cincinnati. Also spent some time with Nottingham Forest, Reading, the Scottish Giants, Celtic. Made 12 appearances for Manchester United. Made his professional debut at 19 years old for Blackpool.
Wow, that is an impressive resume to have. but he also just brings that veteran status. You can see his composure on the ball. He's going to be smart on his movements, and he's just going to bring a sense of stability back in that back line for New Mexico United.
This ball goes in and took a weird deflection there. You can see Smith wasn't quite expecting it, and it ended up being off an Antelope Valley player. And that means we've got another corner kick coming up here for New Mexico. By my count, that's the 7th in this second half.
One of these has got to go in. I mean, that's a lot of corner kicks to have.
Niall Reed-Stephen will do the honors once again as New Mexico look for a breakthrough. Reed-Stephen delivers, and Reed-Stephen almost found that back post.
Just trying to pull off a little bit of a Olympico there. I mean, he's got the in-swinging foot, so he can play some very dangerous balls into there.
This is Tyler Blackett. Up ahead to Hamalainen. Hamalainen, an outside back by trade. He's been sort of spotlighting his center back fill-in. This one finds Reed-Stephen, lays it off, but it's cut out. He was looking to connect with Wilkerson that time. Howell goes back to Blackett. Well, Tyler Blackett made his Premier League debut in August of 2014 in a 2-1 loss against Swansea City in front of over 75,000 people at the Theatre of Dreams at Old Trafford. Notably, other Manchester United debutants that day were Jesse Lingard and Andre Herrera. This ball headed back across, and Justin Renix breaks the deadlock. Hits the backflip, and New Mexico take the lead.
A little bit of a lapse of defense there from Avi Alta. I mean, both those players were wide open inside the 6.
And for Justin Renix, that's his first goal that he scored here at the Lab. And a key goal it is. It puts the black and yellow ahead here 75 minutes in. And it was headed back across by Niall Reed-Stephen, or played back across, we should say. It was Gideon Zalalem initially and headed back across beautifully. And how about that connection?
That was unbelievable by Reed-Stephen to realize that Renix was right there in the middle of the field. All he had to do is play it right back to him, and Renix just had to basically walk the ball into the goal.
And it was only a matter of time before Niall Reed-Stephen made something happen for New Mexico. Avi Alta down to 10 men, down a goal. 15 minutes plus stoppage time remain.
Well, and Avi Alta is known to give up a lot of late goals. They've given up 5 late goals between the minutes of 75 and 90 plus minutes.
So New Mexico will be looking for an insurance goal here tonight.
But New Mexico also has to be careful because they like to give up late goals. They like to give up at least 3. There's been 3 chances or 3 times that they have given up a goal between 90 or 75 minutes or later.
Now this is where the competition structure starts to come into play here, Kenzie. We talked about the 7 group winners that will make it out into the knockout stages. Well, there's going to be a fight between everybody else for that one wild card spot.
Yeah, because the first tie-breaking rule is goals for.
Is goals scored. Exactly. And so if you're New Mexico, you have every incentive to score as many goals as you can here this evening. And what better opportunity than against a side down to 10 men?
Yeah, I mean, last year it came down to one goal is what separated who went in for the wild card spot and who went home.
For Justin Renix, that is his second goal of the season in all competitions. He scored in the season opener for New Mexico in Oakland. Adds to his tally here in USL Cup play. Renix comes in as the new number 9 for Dennis Sanchez this season. And really looking for another forward that can share some of that goal-scoring load with Greg Hurst. As Kenzie, the last couple seasons, it was a center back in Talon Maples.
Yeah, which is not very common to have your center back, scoring the most goals. But, I mean, now Reed Stevens got 2 right now. And then you have Harris, who's scored a second one tonight. So they're kind of sharing the love around the field.
Yellow card shown there to Malik Howell. 79th minute. Yellow cards brought to you by the guys at Ferguson Law Firm. So New Mexico have to be careful here as well. Here's Lay as Antelope Valley probing around. That ball cleared away momentarily by Wilkerson. Well, fans, soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. And we showed you the lineup coming up here in the month of May for New Mexico United. 4 home games, 4 different opportunities to catch the black and yellow here at home. Everything from Star Wars night to country night. You've also got Schools Out night that's coming up as well. So a lot of really fun themes. Make sure you get on SeatGeek. Get your tickets for those matches today. SeatGeek, also the official ticketing provider of New Mexico United. Here's Hamalainen. Hurst able to turn. He's looking for Reed Steven. Bailey has his pass deflected. This is going to give us time to tell you that if you can't watch the match, you can turn on Sirius XM FC 157. That is North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus, you can hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Rendon Thomas on for Antelope Valley. Didn't catch who the second substitute was, but we'll get that for you here in just a moment. And the other substitute was midfielder Jimmy Villalobos. Interesting not to see Villalobos in the starting lineup here tonight, Kenzie.
Yeah, he was playing in that Boise game a couple weeks ago, and he's a key factor to this Avi Alta team. If you watch him, he's constantly on the ball. He's very disciplined, so it's kind of surprising that he wasn't in that starting 11. But again, they are still trying to figure out who their starting 11 are going to be and what formation they're going to play.
Those substitutes brought to you by Chiba Hut, toasted subs and sandwiches. Antelope Valley looking for a miracle equalizer here. Down a man, down a goal, on the road. In one of the most raucous environments in the USL Championship. This is Villalobos, goes back to Pelivanov. Kaloyan Pelivanov, the 22-year-old Bulgarian. That ball given away. Here's Bailey. He's got options on both sides. The offside flag is up on Reed Stephen, and he's going to be disappointed because that was about as easy as they come for the Barbados International.
It was unfortunate that ended up being offside. It was a great ball in. New Mexico is just going to keep trying. I mean, like you said, it comes down to goals scored, so they're just going to keep going and keep trying to find that third one.
Well, and also, as you look at the bigger scope, New Mexico, I'm sure they just love an insurance goal. 84th minute here at the Lab. Gideon Zalalem mentioned he's a former Arsenal man, played at Arsenal under Arsene Wenger. Made his UEFA Champions League debut in the second half against Galatasaray. Here's Greg Hurst. Pings this across for Reed Stephen. New Mexico looking for a third. Renix. The ball shot was eventually blocked. Renix again. Trying to use his frame to shield the defender, but ultimately it was good defending. Here goes Antwi. Bajaro. Miguel Bajaro, the 25-year-old Colombian. Tough ball into the midfield there for Villalobos. New Mexico can break. Meaty challenge. And Pajaro took exception there. And there you can see the yellow card already in the hand of Benjamin Meyer. Pajaro goes into the officials' book here, 86 minutes in. Mackenzie, by my count, that is the 6th yellow card that has been shown to Antelope Valley here this evening.
Yeah, that's actually both of their center backs now have yellow cards, so they got to be careful. I mean, you still have 5 minutes or plus stoppage time to play, so you don't want to drop down to 9 men now.
And New Mexico certainly in no hurry to get things restarted here, as Greg Hurst still taking exception to Bajaro's actions there just moments ago. While we're waiting to get restarted, we'd like to let you know that eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball, free to play, download now. Seymour, I thought he might be whistled for the foul there for a second, but instead, we say that Thomas unable to keep that ball in play. Tyler Blackett, we talked about him a little bit earlier. Coming in is that big frame, left-footed center back. It's really what New Mexico United had in Kalen Ryden over the last handful of years.
Yeah, you always need somebody who's going to be big, who's going to be strong, can play well with his feet, but also come up big when you need him.
Here's Zalalem. Hamalainen, 12 caps for the Finnish national team. Here's Zico Bailey. Bailey pings this ball into the box. Hamalainen goes back to Zalalem. New Mexico being patient in possession here. Hamalainen was looking for Renix. That's going to be a corner here for New Mexico. So another Topo Chico hard seltzer corner kick for New Mexico. The black and yellow certainly in no hurry here. 89th minute. Zalalem plays it short. Here's Reed Steven. Reed Steven. Seymour. Zalalem. Renix. Eventually dealt with. Howell. Shot finds Greg Hurst. New Mexico just dominating possession here in the latter stages of this one.
Avi Alta just cannot catch a break with all of these attacks that are coming in for New Mexico United.
This is going to give us time for one final substitution here for New Mexico. That is the end of the night for the Scotsman, Greg Hurst, as he is replaced by the local Albuquerque product, Christian Nava. He's the first player in club history to come through the New Mexico United Academy into the first team. Here's Renix. His cross is blocked. Zalalem couldn't settle it. Neither could Seymour. There's Miguel Ivara. And went all the way back to Smith there. So Ortiz, 90th minute. I mean, there's going to be 3 minutes added on here. Antwi plays this forward, but Malik Howell gets the first touch. And Howell whistled for the foul, and I think he's frustrated. It was a little bit of a late whistle. Into stoppage time we go. 3 minutes confirmed here. New Mexico Pinon Coffee, the taste of enchantment. It was Bahena that drew the foul that time. And so this could prove to be a huge opportunity for Antelope Valley. Delivery, and it's cleared away by Hamalainen. Goes back to AV. Corner kick coming up now.
Mexico's got to be careful here. They want to close out this game and not allow any other goals because, we're getting down to the final minutes.
It's Bahena. Bahena, the second half substitute. came on at the 61-minute mark. So he's been running around out there for a good half hour already. You see looks like Ivana looking to make himself comfortable there just ahead of Chris Shakes. Corner goes in, looking back post, and Seymour thrown to the ground, and the foul is called. Two of the 3 minutes already gone by here in stoppage time. Well, fans, you can watch the USL Championship and League One on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com or USL League One for the complete USL TV listings. Final seconds ticking down here at the lab as Chris Shakes out of his box. Just clears this ball away. Throw in quickly taken here by AV. Here's Ivana, former U.S. men's national team player. He's got 3 caps for our nation. Bailey came up hobbling after that challenge, but luckily for him, that's the last touch of the match as New Mexico victorious after 90 minutes. Kenzie, this one was not easy.
It certainly wasn't. I mean, you have a tournament. This is round 1. You're setting the tone of how you want to continue in this tournament. And to start with 3 points is excellent for New Mexico United.
It's a huge win for the black and yellow here at home as Dayon Harris will take home your man of the match honors here today with his 36th minute goal. 2 chances created. The man of the match brought to you by Pepsi. Justin Renix, the second half substitute, comes in, and he is your VARA play of the match winner. Scored his first goal at the lab here tonight in USL Cup play. And then Chris Shakes, your Valley Fence Company defensive player of the match. 2 saves here this evening for Shakes, and a win for New Mexico, starting their way off right here in pursuit of the USL Cup, presented by Prinx Tires. We'll go ahead and step aside for just a moment. When we return, we'll have your full-time highlights.
Game on at New Mexico's ultimate game day destination, Sandia Sportsbook. With live wagering 7 days a week, Albuquerque's best sportsbook is ready for action. Bet at Sandia Sportsbook or at kiosk locations on the casino floor. Sandia Sportsbook offers amazing food and drink specials with spectacular views. Sports betting has come to Sandia. Sandia Sportsbook. Game on.
Two home matches here for New Mexico. 2 wins for the black and yellow as they pull it off here tonight, 2-1 over USL League One opponent Avi Alta FC. Let's go ahead and take a look at how this one played out As this one, Kenzie, New Mexico started out in a hole. It was Elias Almeish opening up the scoring here with his left-footed strike 18 minutes in.
It was a beautiful start for Avi Alta, just like they wanted. Get that goal early and see what happens.
Shakes diving, unable to stop it. It was the first goal in his Avi Alta career there for Elias Almeish. However, 18 minutes later, that man does it again. Dayon Harris has scored in his last 3 matches here at the Lab.
You have to be proud of New Mexico United for not dropping their heads and still working for that goal. And to find it in the back of the net 18 minutes later is unbelievable.
And then here in the second half, this was at the 75th minute mark. A beautiful ball from Gideon Zalalem finds Niall Reed-Stephen, heads it back across the face of goal, and that's an easy tap in for Justin Rennicks. Celebrates his first goal at the Lab with the backflip. That is all she wrote. New Mexico finished this one 2-1. Kenzie, take us through these full-time stats.
The shots is what stands out most to me. I mean, 14 shots for New Mexico United is crazy, but I mean, 5 of them only being on target could be a little bit better, but I mean, they got the win. They got the 2 goals, and that's what they wanted, and that's what they came and wanted to do at home.
Avi Alta did go down to 10 men, so no doubt that played an impact in that second half. However, this is a side that really likes to possess the ball, and so absolutely jaw-dropping to see that possession number at just 37% for Avi Alta. I'll have to check that, but that could be the lowest number that they've ever possessed in a match in their club's history.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Avi Alta coming into this match was possessing 60% of the time, and to see 37% is, you know, kudos to New Mexico United for controlling that ball and doing what they wanted to do for this game.
Well, it's a huge win for New Mexico as the four-legged friends will celebrate this one as well. That's going to do it for us here this evening from the Lab. We'll be back here in early May with Star Wars Night on May 6th. For everybody, part of our crew here tonight, for our director, Gary Williams, for Kenzie Ballinger on color, my name is Tyler Ortega. Thank you for watching.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.